Hi, I'm Gwen Richardson, producer and host of the weekly live stream show, Black Authors Matter TV. In addition to our weekly show, we put together how-to videos on different book-related topics. This video tells you if you want to open or improve your bookstore, how to go about attracting more customers, how to make your bookstore a magnet for more customers. So enjoy this video and stay tuned for more information on book-related topics from Black Authors Matter
Around the
TV.
time I was negotiating with the landlord of my building for the coffee shop, a few friends of mine started a book club. We started the Good Brothers Book Club. It's an all black male book club for black men and young men in our city as well. But we got a few members that's like in Philadelphia. I think we got one that's like we got two in Lancaster, one in Philadelphia, and another one in Baltimore. So around the time I was signing the lease for the coffee shop, I was like, we started the book club, and that's where actually the name for the cafe came from when the book club started. And I was like, man, what else can I do to, pick up on this coffee shop thing, not just offer coffee? So I started researching, like, and I figured out I could do books and coffee. They go hand in hand. Who doesn't like a good cup of coffee as they're reading, or a good cup of tea, or chai, or hot cocoa? And we're actually not the first one in the state of Pennsylvania. There's another one called Uncle Bobby's that's owned by Mark Lamont Hill. It's down in Philadelphia, and I think
Oh,
it's
that's
another one in
right.
Philly as well.
You're right. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yes, ma'am. Uncle Bobby's is in Philadelphia. I actually was there last week to show some support to them. But we're the first one in my area in Central Pennsylvania. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, we're the first one in Central PA, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. But so we started the book club, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do books, but I'm gonna concentrate on black authors, African American authors, or any author that's black and or protagonist. So it could be like a white author, but if the under the cover of the book is got a black character, we can carry the book here. So once I got all that together, the vegan restaurant was doing well, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go full throttle with the coffee shop and books. So it all played hand in hand as the thoughts was coming together.
Okay. So how's it been
Yes, ma'am.
going?
Great, great. We finally opened on Martin Luther King Day,
That's a good
and
time to open.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was either that or Black History Month first day, which was February 1st.
Okay.
So we was like, why not MLK Day? Because who better than or what better day other than our own month? So we've been getting great reviews. My baristas are phenomenal. So we haven't been lacking on the coffee aspects. We make all different types of cappuccinos, macchiatos, lattes, frappuccinos, regular brew, and I also own my own coffee brand as well. So we've been using, I've been pushing that brand. It's called Fifth Acres Coffee. So we've been getting a lot of love and support for that as well. And I actually just partnered with two black local businesses here so that they carry my coffee. But the coffee shop has been doing well. The books have been flying off the shelves. I barely can keep some sometimes. Like the weekends, they be grabbing up 4 or 5 books at a time. And I'd be like, dang, like, can y'all let me hold, like, get some nice pictures before y'all empty off my shelves? But I love that it's inspiring everybody to read. It's everybody's, and a lot of my customers are white. So seeing them grab books from our culture, from our people, is exciting as well. Like they're trying to be inclusive a little more. They're trying to be woke, as they like to say. They're trying to understand the black struggle and also our not just our struggle, but just our lifestyle and what comes with us. Because they live in a shell sometimes. So them walking in here, seeing our black books, seeing our black stories is very energizing and inspiring to let me know that I opened the right business at the right time for my community.
Some of your experiences and challenges over the years, being over 20 years being in the brick and mortar bookstore business.
Um, um, some people might find this hard to believe, but like the first day that I opened up with very little advertising, I did $500, and
Okay.
ever since I've been in business, I've never had no hardships, no problems. Business has always been good for me from day one.
What do you think is your secret to success?
Um, I guess the for me, as far as I didn't mainly just focus just on books. I also sell like a lot of fraternity and sorority paraphernalia, and that's
Okay.
real huge in the South. The whole Divine Nine. I probably say right now, my bookstore right now, I probably say maybe 65% of my sales is probably from
From Greek
Divine. Yeah,
paraphernalia.
Greek.
Mm.
Yeah, Greek sales.
Yeah,
Well, I
we
do
sold
still
that
have
too.
my jacket. I do still have my jacket I bought from Marcus after my book signing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I tried to keep a diverse, product line, and I'm always trying to find things that are unique that would drive customers to my store. And I found that selling Black Greek paraphernalia, as well as the Eastern Star Masonic
Right,
paraphernalia, gear, and books have been a huge, huge. Like every spring and every fall,
right. When the lions cry.
those organizations always they're bringing in new members constantly.
Right.
And
And then
right,
the grad chapter people buy stuff too. We sold Greek things in
right,
our store. So we
Grant,
that was the
Grant
same.
have to go through and buy something
Yeah,
for everybody. So,
they do.
we don't just buy one thing and leave again. We want to get
No,
like 7 of everything,
mm-hmm,
8 of
right.
everything. Because we want to
yeah,
get something for each person on the, well, we don't call them lines anymore. We call them
yeah.
in classes.
Oh, right. They
And
don't call them lines anymore.
No,
right,
that's
when
part.
when I first opened up my store, I didn't really carry a lot of Greek paraphernalia. I mean, I had like some keychains and a few little knickknacks. But
Mm-hmm.
over the time, I noticed that more and more people were asking me about carrying more paraphernalia. So over time, I started to increase my inventory in that product line, and it's just been blowing up like crazy for me. And
That's good.
I
You can
think
get loyal
if I
business like
never,
that too.
yeah, and I think if I never did that, if I just did just books, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now if I was just focusing just on books. So for me, I think diversifying my product line really helped me out a lot. And then I was in South Lake Mall from '99 until 2013, and then I decided to move out the mall. And right now I'm located between TJ Maxx, DTLR, a women's shoe store, Burlington Coat Factory, and my sales have like over quadrupled since I moved out of the shopping mall. And I think that's like one of the
Oh,
best. I think that was like one of the best moves I made was moving out of the mall into into the plaza where I was able to cut my rent over in half
mm-hmm.
and quadruple my sales,
I think a
Okay.
lot of people
as
aren't
well as being able
shopping
to.
malls like they used to. Yeah, so that was probably a great
Yeah,
move because people just don't shop at the mall anymore.
Right. Well, now during the pandemic,
right.
if you were still in the mall, you probably would have had to totally close
Mm-hmm.
because the
Yeah,
malls were closed for months. Um,
yeah,
so that's really good. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad to hear that because when we had our bookstore, we added other product lines. We were selling a lot of the when Tyler Perry had his DVDs of his plays, and he was
yeah,
independently distributing. We did a huge amount of business with that, just
yeah.
huge,
I made a lot of money off his DVDs
right?
when he first. A lot
for,
of money off his
for a good
DVDs.
number of years because it was a captive audience. And the good thing about selling the Greek products is they're not going to be in Walmart, so you're
Right.
not competing. It's
Yeah.
not price competition. You're
Right.
Yeah.
going to have a
Probably
captive
the
audience.
people in your area who's selling it. So
Yeah.
everybody's coming to you.
Yeah, and a lot of my customers tell me that out of all the stores in the Atlanta area, they think I have like the best selection and the best prices.
Oh,
So
okay, that's
I hear
good.
that a lot. So I always try to keep my prices reasonable, and I'm more into getting a constant turnover. I'm not trying to mark up ridiculous, do a huge markup,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd rather sell at a cheaper price and keep a faster turnover in product and getting repeat customers versus having stuff overpriced and ridiculous and having fewer sales. So
Well, not with things
I find,
changing the way that they are, and you know, more authors are selling ebooks now, as instead of the physical books.
Mhm.
Do you still get a number of authors who are wanting to do book signings at your location?
I do book signings every week. Book signings haven't stopped at my bookstore. I had an author last week. She had sold like over 40 books. I had one guy, he did a kids book, and he did his first book signing with me for the first time uh, this past last week, and he sold 25 books. So I always get like a lot of customers who said that they will always prefer to have a book in the hand versus reading it digital.
Absolutely.
Ebook. Especially
I
children's
never,
books.
children, yeah, I think the only genre of books where sales have gone down for me might be fiction. But other than
Okay.
that, though, kids books, history books, money finance books, they still sell fast for me. I think fiction is the one that kind of died down a lot for me. It's probably
There's a
been
lot of
fiction.
people that using Black Authors Matter TV.
Hi, thank you for the invitation.
Oh, you're welcome. And you recently opened your wine and book bar, which that's a new concept. We've had a couple of people on with coffee shops, book and coffee shops, but you have a book and wine bar. So tell us, it's called the Vibrary. Is that correct? Like
Yes,
library, but with a V. And
yes.
you had your launch recently in the last
Yeah, I had a soft opening, kind of doing a couple of softs, just trying to work the kinks out of everything. And the grand opening is scheduled for August 12th.
Okay, coming up very soon.
Mhm.
Okay. So tell us about how you got the idea for the wine and what made you go in with the wine and book concept and what's been the response?
Well, initially, during the pandemic last year, I had a lot of time on my hands when I was working from home prior to being called back into the office. And a friend of mine who also, her and I were on a board together, and we kind of just were throwing the idea around. So initially, I had a business partner, and we came up with it together. And so we both like wine, we both like books, and we were like, oh, well, maybe let's see what that's about. So we were kind of throwing things together, and then the name just kind of stuck. And then we were moving forward. Unfortunately, she couldn't move forward just due to some personal issues. It wasn't any issues between her and I. But then when she told me that she could no longer move forward, then I had to make a decision. And then after I prayed about it and kind of looked at the pros and cons, then I decided to move forward. So that's how we are where we are now. And it seems to be getting a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people are excited about it in the specific area and location. And a lot of people love the name. And a lot of people love books and wine. So hopefully it'll be successful.
So what's the concept? Let's say I walk into the library. Do you have the wine wall over here and the books over here? Do you pair certain books and wine? How does it work when I walk in? Tell me about the experience.
Yeah, right now when you walk in, you'll probably have your senses will be not overloaded, but you'll notice there's a specific scent in there because I have a signature scent. I've worked with a local candle maker, This Little Light Candles by Cat. And so it's a signature scent that you can purchase that's in there. And so it kind of just makes you feel comfortable and relaxed and at home as soon as you walk in. And then there is a wall that has retail wine for purchase as far as the bottles are concerned, but you obviously can purchase by the glass as well. And then there's a specific area near the couches that have books for retail. And those kind of are just my picks, some suggestions from people. We have a couple local authors that are also highlighted over there. And then the decor, a part of the decor is there are several books on each table. So people can peruse those if they just want to come in. And once I was doing my soft opening, some people were like, well, I just got lost in this while I was sitting here. So it seems like it's working out well, but it's kind of a mesh between both of them.
I'm loving it.
Yes,
I'm in Atlanta quite a bit, so I'm going to have to swing over to Stone Mountain
Yes.
and get some vibes at the library.
now,
Yes.
how you, on your after you open for your grand opening, how many days a week would you be open?
Well, initially, I will only be open 3 days a week. I'm still in a full-time position. So Thursdays, it will be from 5 to 10 p.m., Fridays, 5 to 11 p.m., and on Saturdays, noon to 11. And so that's what we'll start off with. And I'll kind of see how that's working out and able to expand at a later date. But also, even when it's not open, it's available for people to rent out as a space if they want to have specific events there.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I was going to ask you about that.
Multiple, to bring in income. You
Mhm.
always
Yeah.
have to have multiple streams of income, especially when
Right.
you're small.
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I was saying, do you host events as well? I mean,
Um,
like,
I Yes, the space will be open for people to host events. I, in particular, have not, I only hosted one recently, and it was great. It was my god sister, best friend's birthday celebration, and it was really nice. But specifically, I really don't have the capacity right now to, to be the person hosting, but the space will be available.
And look, Rashonda Tate Billingsley, she really warmed my heart. She told me she had been across the country in hundreds of bookstores, and mine was the most beautiful that she had ever been in.
I just saw
And
a picture on Instagram. She's absolutely right. It's gorgeous in there.
Really a gorgeous place. You have those nice floors, and it's not cluttered. It's not like
It's well spaced.
spread out. It's well spaced, and you have I'm assuming you have events since you have a stage.
absolutely. So
What
the
else
stage
do
is
you have
there.
going on at the store?
Okay, let me tell you this. So it's so funny. With having cafe in the name, we throw a lot of people off. We've had guys pull up and say, hey, I want to order like some collard greens and chicken wings. Like, people are so confused. We're so confused who we were. And it's people of other races. They always pull up and like ask for some really wild, I guess, Black people stuff, and because of the name. And it's so funny to me. And I'm like, no, we're actually like a 90% bookstore, 10% cafe. I brought the cafe in for business purposes. I am a businesswoman. I own a tax franchise, so I'm always thinking about accounting and how to make money. And it's not the most lucrative business in the world to make 40% off of a $15 book, if I'm being very transparent. So I have to find ways, to connect with colleges and universities and schools and have them to get their books from me and host events. So I wanted to monetize the space so that we can afford to be in the community, but I wanted it to be able to pay for itself. So the blend of community, definitely, I always tap back into 14-year-old Raven, and what changed my life, of course, was books. I Know Why the Cage Birds Sing by Maya Angelou was the first book that I ever read. Okay. And I was able to relate to her, not in her traumatic ways, but I was so interested in the characters. And when she was in Mississippi on the dirt roads, I was literally in Mississippi with no shoes on the dirt roads with her. When she was in California, St. Louis, I was experiencing all of these things here because I surely thought in my mind, especially at the age of 14, that I was never going to get out of Chicago. I was never going to get away from the block that I was on. So I appreciated the adventure. So I incorporated books, of course, but also music and art. I think if we are going to change the mind of the youth, if we're going to reach them, we need to reach them where they are right now. Visually, everything, TikTok, Instagram, everything has this visual appeal. So why not incorporate artisans? Why not incorporate local artists where when children come in, they're influenced, and we could say, hey, Mr. Brown from Sugarland actually made that Biggie Smalls picture, but he found out how to draw art from this Basquiat book that I have over here that you should read too, because Jay-Z also read that book. And oh, look, here's a book that Scottie Pippen wrote about playing basketball, so I wanted to incorporate what the youth would be interested in. And then that brings the stage, storytelling. Before there were books, before there was poetry, we only had storytelling, right? The slaves would go back home and they would talk about their days with their family, and all they could do was tell a story about, this is what my day looked like. And those stories are passed down, and then books and poetry were birthed. So I wanted to take it back to storytelling. So every single Friday, we host a storytelling event. You have 5 minutes to tell a story about whatever topic, my first love or the worst job I ever had. Saturday mornings, those are just some of the topics that we had. And we have complete strangers coming into our store, 5 minutes, telling these stories, making connections, walking off the stage and just being totally liberated and free. 90% of the time is hilarious. We're cracking up, having fun. The other times we are finding out that we're more connected than others, but it's giving a community an outlet. You don't need more than 5 minutes, you know, but we're making connections and we're getting bigger and bigger every single week.
So what types of books do you sell in your store?
We're a children's bookstore. So we carry all.
Books?
Yep, I carry just a little, like, smattering of adult books, just for the audience, just, for people to come and have something there. But majority children's books, so we carry all types of genres, comic books, graphic novels, board books, YA, middle grade, coloring books. But yeah, we're a children's bookstore.
And is it all Black children's books, or is it all children's books, period?
I don't want to say, just all Black books, but definitely all of the diaspora, a multicultural children's bookstore. So we definitely focus on those Black and brown faces that we're trying to reach out there. So that's what we carry. That's who we cater to. And that's what you're going to find there, African-American, Caribbean. We even have some books in Spanish, covered some Native American. So, different types of things. We try to have everybody feel welcome, and be a space for those who maybe don't feel welcome in other spaces. Our space is definitely one that I think.
Thank you for watching this how-to video, and I hope it was informative for you. To keep abreast of the other how-to videos we post, as well as our weekly live stream show, subscribe to our Black Authors Matter TV YouTube channel. Be encouraged and be blessed. Bye-bye.